Certainly in this massive fraud case that is sending shockwaves across two different continents. The man at the center of it all, Alan Stanford, still at this hour nowhere to be found. He is the founder of Stanford International Bank. He's accused of defrauding his company's investors out of about $8 billion. Rick Leventhal is following the case for us. Rick, is this another Ponzi scheme like the one that Bernie Madoff is believed to have presided over?
There are definitely similarities, Jane, between what they say that Stanford did and what they say that Bernie Madoff did. In this case, investigators say that Alan Stanford he fabricated investment returns on high-yielding CDs. He told investors that these CDs over 12 months would earn 4.5%, when in fact the feds were only giving out 1% return on Treasury bonds. Last year, his bank claimed a loss of only 1%, when the S&P 500 declined 39%. So in essence, the feds believe Stanford, like Madoff, was fabricating returns and using the money to line his own pockets.
What do we know about this guy? I mean, it sounds anyway like he was living a pretty high-flying lifestyle.
Yeah, it does indeed. He was number 605 on the Forbes list of world's richest people, with an estimated net worth of $2 billion. He hobnobbed with the rich and famous, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, among others. And he is said to have bought a 24,000 square foot castle down in Coral Gables a few years ago, and then tore it down and bought the lot next door and was planning to build an even bigger home. He has 6 planes registered with the FAA and homes and offices around the world, Jane.
And has anybody come out and said, I was a victim of this guy, like we saw with the Madoff case?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people have. In fact, there are run-on banks across Latin America, across the Caribbean, people lining up to try and get their money out. In fact, the government of Venezuela is saying that it'll back accounts that people have in Stanford banks. Down in Antigua, there are hundreds of people lined up trying to pull out money out of their accounts, and the government there and the banks there reassuring people that their money is in fact safe. But in Mexico, there are hundreds of people there trying to get their money out, and they were told that the accounts have been frozen. In fact, the feds say that Stanford, while he was pulling hundreds of millions of dollars out of his own accounts, was telling his investors, oh, you can't get your money right now because the feds have frozen your accounts. So that's what they say. But again, Jane, as you mentioned at the top, this guy is apparently on the run, and they don't know where he is.
Wow. Rick, let us know if you hear anything. Thanks.
Will do.
Well, it is a real